Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh alongside Ron Cook, and give us a call tonight. 412-575-2600 is the number. We're going to be talking about a few things. Le'Veon Bell still at the top of the list here, still the big news. Louis Riddick went off on the players that called him out yesterday. But the locker room was a little more calm today than yesterday. Guys, had a day to think about him not being here. And now David DeCastro said they want to prove they can win without Le'Veon Bell. And, Ron, I think this team can win without Le'Veon Bell. There's no question. Running back by committee has worked with a lot of other teams, and I think they can do it with Connor, Ridley, and Samuels.
I couldn't disagree more. Are you talking about winning this week?
I'm saying winning
in
general.
For the long haul?
Winning in the long haul. I mean,
he's the best running back in the league for a reason. I don't think if you, James Conner may turn out to be a star, may not. I don't think he's going to be as good as Le'Veon Bell, so I think it's a big loss for them. Now, 1 or 2 games, okay. I don't think they can win without Ben. I don't think they can win without Antonio Brown.
My point is, yes, it's a loss. I think they can get through because the guy, for me, you cannot lose Ben Roethlisberger.
Right.
He's the one guy you can't lose.
And I put Antonio and Le'Veon, and that's a little bit less. Not the same category, but a little bit less.
Are you surprised that the players called him out yesterday?
No. And I mean, I think it's a one-time thing. I think they're just tired of it. They understand it's business, but when it starts to impact them, now it's going into a regular season game, impacts their chances of winning a Super Bowl. I think Ramon Foster said it best: when you win, everybody eats. And I think they think that he's hurting them. He's putting himself above the team. And I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying I totally understand where they're coming from.
I don't know if you had a chance to read Mike DeCourcy today. He wrote a story, and he compared it to an insurance policy. And that's kind of what, Le'Veon Bell
Mike doesn't have
here.
any use for Le'Veon Bell, so we should point that out up front.
But he did. One point I'm trying to get to is he said this is an $850,000 a week insurance policy, and that's a little pricey for paying insurance. And it made a lot of sense to me. This guy's going to spend if he's not going to show up to week 11, that's $8.5 million he's throwing away to insure his legs. And who knows what's going to happen after that?
He could get hurt in the first game back. I mean, that's all part of it. But I think people that think losing him isn't going to hurt them are crazy. Because, he's such a good receiver. He's a great blitz blocker. He can run the ball. Ben talks about him all the time being in a no huddle. You don't have to sub for him. You can put him out wide as a wide receiver. I'm not buying this. I know the animosity towards Le'Veon. I get it. People can't appreciate someone making $14.5 million and not being happy. But if anybody who thinks he's not a key part of their team, I think you're crazy. And I think it's a big loss for them.
Can the Steelers step away, the front office, the coach, say he doesn't report until week 11? Can they step away, welcome him back?
I don't think there's any question they'll welcome him back. And I think the teammates actually. Now, if he shows up ready to play, that's the thing. If he isn't ready to play, then they're not going to welcome him back. But I could see him walking back week 11, hugs all over the locker room, fresh legs, ready to carry them down the stretch. I could see that very easily.
Do you think this is a smart move by him?
Not necessarily, no. I understand what he's trying to do, but he's walking away from a lot of money.
So by skipping these games, he basically has to make up for it next year. And you're talking about $50 million, even to equal to what the Steelers, $50+ million to equal what the Steelers offered.
But it wasn't guaranteed, Rich. That was the thing.
But they're not going to cut him in 3 years, right? And $45 million the first 3 years.
You wouldn't think so, but that's not how he looks at it. What did Todd Gurley get, like $40 million guaranteed? Yeah. That's the way those guys look at it. Now, I get it. If he gets hurt this year, he won't get anything.
Yeah, I'm torn on this one. I think the Steelers can get by.
There's two sides to every argument.
Yeah.
I don't. Not all year. I mean, Sunday maybe.
Yeah.
Not all year.
Maybe the first 3 games for sure.
Maybe.
And then see where they are. But what if? I know we don't like to play the what if games. But what if, hey, they do get by 9 weeks or 10 weeks and they're 9-1 or 8-2 without him? Then it's a different storyline. I think you're right. And my other question is, do they use that 2-week exemption and not pay him for those 2 weeks, like Ed pointed out?
It's a possibility, and I would think Probably so, but let's see what kind of shape he's in. Is he ready to go? If he's ready to go, I'm playing him.
Yeah, and how about it's like trading for your best running back in the NFL,
right.
Week 11. That'll definitely get you to the postseason and beyond. All right, we got to take a break. 412-575-2600 is the number. We could talk about that. We could also talk about Pitt-Penn State if you want to call in about that. Buccos are off tonight. Chris Archer back on the mound tomorrow, and we're back in 2 minutes. Stay right there.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters.